Hello, listeners. Welcome to another episode of Cognitive Dissidence. As usual, I'm your host. I'm Jacob Shapiro. I'm a partner and the director of geopolitical analysis at Cognitive Investments. Joining me on the podcast today is maybe the most impressive guest we've had thus far in the entire podcast series. Her name is Sanaa Kamal. She was a journalist in the Gaza Strip. She is currently in Cairo in Egypt she's gotten some of her family out of Gaza. She is working to get the rest of her family out of the Gaza Strip. If you've been with me for a while now, you know that when the October 7th Hamas attacks on Israel began, we put out a lot of content. We got a lot of different perspectives, Israeli perspectives, Egyptian perspectives from all sorts of people in the region and analysts everywhere. But I could not find a Palestinian voice to come on the podcast. Either people were unwilling to come on because they didn't know who I was, and they had a understandable suspicion of going on a podcast with a guy whose name is Jacob Shapiro, or internet was not reliable when the Israeli government, as it continues to attack the Gaza Strip, but as it was attacking the Gaza Strip, it was almost impossible to get to people via the internet or even via cell phones. So it was really impossible. I had a couple recordings set up here and there that just totally fell through the cracks. But Sanaa finally made it to Cairo, and she reached out and said she was safe there and that we could do a recording, and I was so proud to welcome her on. There's no political valence here. I just wanted Sanaa to be able to tell her story. Her family is also in pretty dire straits. We're going to put a link to the GoFundMe that is there so that she can try and get the rest of her brothers and their children out of the Gaza Strip. If you would like to donate some money to that after listening to this, feel free. I'm going to donate myself. But the thing that struck me the most about this conversation, number one, it's an authentic Palestinian voice. This is somebody who has lived in the Gaza Strip her entire life, who is proud of being from the Gaza Strip. And I was struck. Sanaa and her family have been through so much. Their homes destroyed, lost all of their physical possessions. Luckily, it seems like nobody has been seriously hurt or wounded, but some of their family still in harm's way there. And yet she still believes in the possibility of peace. And she still condemns both Hamas and the Israeli government for the things that they are doing to each other and the way that they are hurting innocent people. She says on the podcast about how she has no problem with the Israeli people. She has problems with the Israeli government. And she reiterated that to me even after we stopped recording. And for all the things that we think are wrong in the world and all the problems that all of us have, that somebody who is in Sanaa's position still has the resilience, the faith that people are ultimately good, that her people are good, that Israeli people are good, that Christians and Jews and non-believers and all these other people are good, and that the problem are governments and people who are using those people to their ends. Just a remarkable display of resilience and optimism, and I hope clear-sighted thinking about what is possible in the future, because if Sanaa has not given up hope, none of us should give up hope either. So Sanaa, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for allowing us to listen to your story. Listeners, this is a little bit different than what we normally do here, but I haven't found a more authentic, more true voice about what's going on from a Palestinian perspective than Sanaa's, and I was happy to give her the platform and let her talk about her story here. We will continue to bring more perspectives and more things from this war as it unfortunately continues, because it's here. It's April 2024, and what began last year in October continues on, and it doesn't seem like there is an end in sight. So enough preamble for me. I want this to mostly be about Sanaa. So thank you for listening. Take care of the people you love. Cheers, and see you out there. Sanaa, I'm sorry that we have to get together under these circumstances, but I wanted to use the platform such as I have it to allow you to tell your story. Why don't we start at the beginning? So, how has your life changed since October 7th? Where were you on October 7th, and how have things changed since then for you?
Yeah, actually, thank you for your opportunity to let me sharing my story to your audience. That I'm sure that I'm respecting all of them, merely as a humans that collect all of us around the world. Either we are Arabs, Europeans, Muslims, Christians, or even Jewish people. Actually, before the October 7th, I'm a Palestinian journalist who lives inside Gaza. I live my life as normal as any other independent woman who has her own life, mainly because I'm a famous journalist, at least in my country and in my area, and I like my life because it was simply easy and has a lot of details that I really loved them. Starting from my morning, early morning when I got my coffee, and then drive my car through the beach or the beach road until going to my office and spend there about at least 8 hours every day in my journalism career. And then when I back to my home and eating my lunch and even spending fun times with my family. It's every day I have my own routine, but after the October 7th, all my life has changed, really. Mainly when I remember that when we heard the heavy explosions and the heavy rockets that launched from Gaza at Israel, at the first moment we didn't realize what's happening around us. We only stopped and we only were afraid about what was happening and what was happening for around our area because it was around my house. Later, I know that the rockets were around all the Palestinian houses or from all the Gaza Strip. But to be honest, at the first moment, I think and I believe that we will be punished, heavily punished by Israel, because it was the first time that we had such amount of rockets at Israel, merely as we didn't even think about such rockets that would launch from Gaza. Since then, I declared the emergency of my life because I know as a journalist that Israel will not stay or keep silent. It will definitely attack Gaza. Mainly, it will definitely attack all the buildings, maybe belonging to Hamas, to the government in Gaza. But I didn't know that Israel will attack also the civilians' buildings and residential houses and even the towers over the heads of the people. I stayed at my house just for 4 days until the Israeli army ordered all our neighborhood to evacuate the area to attack the Islamic University. By the way, I lived inside in the same area of the Islamic University that belongs to Hamas. But later, the next day, when we come back to our area, my brothers and I were shocked from the amount of the destruction that lived in our area. Our area completely was destroyed. Completely. We talked about hundreds of residential buildings, hundreds of houses, private houses, hundreds of shops, of supermarkets, of everything. Suddenly, we lost everything in our area. And then the Israeli army ordered us to evacuate the Gaza city and to go to the southern part of Gaza city. To be honest, our trip, displaced trip, we didn't know what would happen. All the time, my mom, by the way, she's an elderly woman, asked me, Sanaa, what will happen? I told her, I don't know, my mom, but I hope that we will back soon. We will back after 1 day or 2 days. All the time, I told my mother that we will back to our house, maybe after a few days, maybe after the next week, the next month, and etc. Until now, I don't know if we will back to Gaza someday or not even. So I was sitting in the corner. I don't know what should I do really. Mainly when I heard that my brothers, the five of my brothers, after 1 week, the first one lost his house, and the second one after that, etc. Until we lost all our houses, 6 houses, including my groom brother. He was a groom. He lost everything in his new house, and all of us came and moved to the southern part of Gaza. We rented a house there by $1,000 monthly. And yeah. And we don't have a lot of money, but I was forced to do that just to keep my family inside a house and not let them to stay or to live inside a tent, because the situation would be catastrophic for my mom. She cannot do that, and she will not accept such situation for her. All the time she cried about her situation and about her sons and also about her daughters, but I decided to take the matter by my own hand and to leave my family, all my family. Maybe because I'm a journalist and have some relations inside Gaza, and even because I was the only one for my mom who's still working and who can gain some money that would help my family and my brothers also to get some food. We stayed in the displacement in Gaza for 2 months until the owner of the house told us that he needed, because his brother lost his house and he needed. Later, then we moved to Rafah also. In Rafah, we lived for a month in another house, rented house, but I paid there $1,500 a month. After that, the Israeli army attacked the house near us, which partially destroyed the house that we lived there, and my mom wounded during that attack. Then we tried to find another house, but we didn't find, because Rafah became the only house, became housing about 1 million and 500,000 people. So then we decided to live inside a tent, and really living inside a tent like living in the hell. Because even you don't have any privacy there. Sorry to say that, but when you would like to use the toilet, you cannot do that, because all the time you feel or afraid that maybe the people will hear you inside the toilet. And additionally, I would like to mention that for 7 months in a row, we have never take our shower in clean water. For the 7 months, I took my shower with wastewater and unhealthy water. So, as an emergency in my life that I adopted during the war inside Gaza, that I have to decrease the meals, my daily meals. I only ate once a day. Only 1 meal a day I can eat, because I don't like to use toilet. In addition, I don't have a lot of food, and we have children, so we prefer to let our children to eat instead of us as old persons. In addition, in the latest 2 months or 4 months, we have never found any food, really. Even if we would like to have some canned food, we have to pay a lot of money. For each meal, we have to pay about $50 each meal. And I remember that the first time that we found poultry and chicken to eat, I had paid about $500 just to make makluba. It's a traditional Palestinian food. Just we paid about $500. Can you imagine such amount of money?
No, I can't.
To be honest, we have been left alone inside this war. We don't know what was happening for us and how we can manage of our catastrophic situation. And even we don't know the time of the ending of the war. I'm talking now not as a journalist only, but also as a woman who lives inside Gaza under the Israeli attack or under the Israeli Hamas war, to be honest, to be accurate in our definition, it's Hamas and Israel war.
And now you at least yourself personally have made it to Cairo. How did you get to Cairo? How difficult was that process?
Oh, it's a complicated process, starting from the amount of money that I had to pay for a company that's based in Cairo. I had to pay $20,000 for this company just to let four persons, my mother, my brother, sister, and I, to leave Gaza. Such amount, to be honest, I sold my car and my gold accessories. This is the only thing that I had inside Gaza to collect the money and to can cross the road and come here to Egypt. In addition, when I came here to Egypt for until now, every night in my dreams, I can see the nightmares. I'm still seeing nightmares here in Egypt, and all the time I feel that I'm still inside Gaza, and I saw a lot of explosions around me and around my family, and like that. So the situation is very difficult. In addition, when we registered our names to the border to travel from Gaza to Egypt, we had waited. We waited about 33 days. But can you imagine when you hear the explosions or hear the Israeli attacks around you, and you are waiting your name to come back from Gaza to leave Gaza all the time? You are thinking about the death, only about the death, and you will never leave Gaza. All the time you put yourself under the pressure that you will never leave Gaza and you will die like dozens of thousands of people who live inside Gaza. And when I saw some names who were registered their names to travel from Gaza and being killed inside Gaza by the Israeli army, I was under the pressure and I was very afraid, not because of myself, because I'm alone, but to be honest, because I was worried about my family and if they will having any strong person or a person who has some relationships with outside of Gaza that can help them to evacuate Gaza. To be honest, I decided to evacuate my family from Gaza when I saw, or as a journalist here now, when I saw that all the negotiations between Hamas and Israel were failed, and none of them, neither Hamas nor Israel would like to have a ceasefire soon, or none of them, both of them are not caring about the civilians inside Gaza. and both of them are not caring about the future of the civilians who are suffering all the time. They only would like to wage their work without having any solutions for the civilians. In addition, without separating, merely Israel doesn't separate between civilians and between militants. It only attacks all the Palestinians, and this is the most dangerous situation inside Gaza. That even if you are innocent people, you don't have any guarantee to not being attacked by Israel. Then our nephew asked me, my aunt, why we should stay here in Gaza? Why we should live here? I would like to continue my education. To be honest, these words hurt me a lot, and I cried because I felt that I'm a weak woman and don't have anything, any right to hold my family inside Gaza. Maybe my career should or force me to stay in Gaza, but my family, I cannot, and I haven't the right to hold them with me here in Gaza. I have to do and to start my first step to evacuate all of them.
Yeah.
I decided this only a month ago, or after, a month ago, maybe 35 days before I left Gaza. So the situation there was very terrible, and I think that our children, our people deserve to live, not to live under such bloody war.
What is your status in Egypt and your family when you get them out of Gaza? And I hope you get them all out. What is your status? Do you worry about getting forced to go back to Gaza? Has Egypt recognized you as a refugee, or is there some sort of asylum process? Like, is that another stage of the nightmare? Or at least once you get to Egypt, can you think about trying to rebuild?
Yeah, I believe that Egypt is my first step just to be in a safe place. This is the only thing that I'm thinking about it now. But to be honest, Egypt until now, it will not recognize of us as refugees. Maybe later, or my second step that maybe I can help my brothers, mainly those who have many children, to migrate to European countries and to other Arab countries that would recognize them as refugees. Because here in Egypt, the situation is not very good for the Palestinians, like work, like it's to gain some money and to have a source of income. Mainly, as most of the Egyptian people really are suffering from the low incomes here. In addition, I think that if Egypt will recognize of us, I think we will stay here. Egypt is beautiful country, and it's a big country for Palestinians. When you live in an area, small area, and very crowded area that hasn't exceeded 360 kilometers square. Here in Egypt, only the roads you can walk. When you walk on them, you will find the road maybe longer than Gaza Strip. So like that. And actually, but the basic thing and the most important thing for me here in Egypt will, because I'm talking with other people by my Palestinian accent, not Egyptian accent. So when I talk with people here in Egypt and they ask me, "Are you from Gaza?" I told them yes. They hugged me. A lot of people hugged me, and some people really cried over our situation in Gaza, and this and such people really forced me to cry because it's not easy for you to be as a poor person and as a weak person, and someone who needs the help. It's not easy for you. Maybe when you have your own stability situation, and when I came to Egypt before the war, when I made many tourist journeys to Egypt all the time, I tried, or really I exported the issue, the image of my country, that we are strong people, that we are educated people, that we are rich people, not like the media who all the time talk about our poverty, about our bad situation, about that. No, all the time I put myself as the ambassador, or the good ambassador of my country. So it's when someone hugs you and tries to condole to you, no, I feel very bad, because I don't like to appear on such situation. No, I would like to say, as Sanaa Kamal, the Palestinian journalist, or the ambassador of her country and of her city. It's no, I can't say that everything here in Egypt is mixed. You cannot imagine what will happen. The only thing, as I told you, that now I'm thinking about is how to bring my family and to bring myself in a safer place. Only this. But after the Israeli war ends, and the war between Israel and Hamas ends in Gaza, I can decide. But definitely my family will not back to Gaza, because at least we will have 10 years just to remove the rebel from Gaza, and we have children. They have to join their education life once again.
Yeah. Do you, I almost feel stupid asking this question after everything you've just said, but I feel like I have to ask it. Do you have any hope for peace between Israel and Palestine after this? Do you think it's, yeah?
Yeah, I would like that. Really, I would like that. Because, Palestinian people are not loving the war. They are people who like the peace, and who like to live in peace. In addition, I hope that we can have someday a peace with Israel, because for me, as a Palestinian and also as a journalist, it's better for Palestinians to have a peace with Israel rather than and to have normalization, or they have to normalize their relationship with Israel rather than Emirates, Turkey, or any other countries, because we live inside Israel. In addition, as occupation, we know, and it's all the world know, that Israel is an occupation country. As an occupation country, it's better for us as Palestinians to live with them, not only to live all the time with the wars between us and between them. I know that we have many people inside Israel, to be honest also, and I know people personally, people who in person, who don't accept what the Israeli government is doing now, and they against Netanyahu, because as we have some people who are against the radical men, or the radical persons in Hamas, we have another persons in Israel who are against Netanyahu as a radical man. So if we put the two people, Israel and the Palestinians, I think they will have a peace, and both of them, they will respect themselves as a human, at least as a human. I don't like the politicians. So I think, yeah, I hope so. I hope to find, or to reach that time that would have peace between Israel and between Gaza. Palestine, not Gaza, Palestine.
Yeah, I mean that's an incredible answer considering everything that you've gone through. What is your perspective on Hamas? I mean, was Hamas? Do you feel that Hamas is split into different wings and that some want the war and some don't? Do you feel like Hamas is an obstacle to peace? Do you feel like Hamas is defending Palestine? I'm just curious, how do you feel about Hamas? And how did you feel maybe before October 7th? And has that changed at all now?
To be honest, before October 7th, and I'm still, I believe that Hamas has a lot of good men and a lot of people who have a great minds, really, and most of them they have. They are educated persons and have high degrees of certifications. But to be honest, who took the decision to start the war, for sure, I'm against him. Because he played even with his fighters inside Hamas. As a civilian, I would like and I would prefer to invest in such people to rebuild or to building our country economically, industrial, everything that would have a good future for our people, not this, and not the world, and not the suffering. But the person who decides to launch this war, for sure, I'm not with him. Even if he, as Hamas said, that Israel who pushed or forced them to do that because it hasn't left its blockade against our people. And I know that. I believe with this sometimes, from time to time. But if we put the negative consequences of the war besides the positive consequences of the war, so we will find only we have negative consequences. This is as a Palestinian.
As a journalist, do you think there is any external pressure that can be placed on both on this Israeli government and on Hamas to stop the fighting, or is that just sort of hopeless?
Yes. As a journalist, I think so, because Hamas now has external pressure from the Palestinian people just to release or to ease its conditions of the negotiations with Israel. In addition, the pressure is asking is to think about the people, the innocent people in Gaza. Meanwhile, I believe that Israel, Netanyahu, now is living under the pressure, internal pressure from the Israeli people who asked him all the time to have or to accept this swap deal with Hamas now to release their hostages. By the way, all the time, even the United States, when they speak about the situation in Gaza, they only speak about the hostages. Who remain still now inside Gaza, I think 130. About out of them, there are 70, at least 70 were killed during the Israeli attack. But none of the European countries, and this is really hurts us as Palestinian people. None of them are thinking and caring about the 2 million or more than 2 million Palestinian hostages inside Gaza. Also, these people are people, and they are innocent people, and they have never involved in any military activity. You know, Jacob, when you come to Gaza, you will find that, because I worked with dozens of the foreign journalists who came to Gaza, really Once the journalist came to Gaza and meet me, and then when I left him or her to meet our people inside Gaza, the only word that I heard for many years, oh, Sanaa, the people, the European people here are so kind. They are innocent people. They are loving their life. They are generous. They have a lot of good things and manners inside your country. You are lucky there because you live in this area of Gaza. These things, none of the European people know that because they only hear about us as military people who carry the weapons and just would like to kill the Jews or the Israeli people. It's totally not the truth. Totally. The truth inside Gaza that I'm talking about 95% of Gazan people would like to live in peace and they don't like to involve in any other wars with Israel. Even after this war, and when this war ends, the people really, I swear, I did dozens of hundreds of interviews during this war. The only word that the people, my people, and I'm so proud to say my people, the only word of my people that was told to us, we will manage our life and we don't want any other war would kill our children or would destroy our life once again.
Sanaa, there are a few things in life I would want more than to go to Gaza with you and to try your makluba. That sounds like that sounds like heaven. But I
will invite you, really, and I will invite you to eat it at our beach because we have a great and the most beautiful beach in the world. I know that because, to be honest, Jacob, all my foreign colleagues who came and who visit our Gaza, they told me, you have a great beach. I really missed it as well as I miss my destroyed house, but I miss my beach because, just smelling our sea inside Gaza, you will take a fresh air. And when you breathe it inside your body, you feel that you own all the world. Really, like that. It's not only just like a place. No. I don't know, but the people who live and who grow up on the beach and on the coastal areas, only we can recognize and we can think about how can I abandon our sea. You don't know how, but I swear, when you visit Gaza, I will invite you to Masluba and the Mansa. We like food, really.
I know. Sanaa, you've been so generous with your time. Is there anything else you want to say to the listeners before we say goodbye?
Actually, I would like to tell the people around the world that the Palestinian people are not fighters and they are not criminal people. They only innocent people who would like to have their own peace life. And all the time we are struggling against all the bad situation just to build our future based on our conditions and our private conditions, but we really would like to have a peace that would allow us to rebuild our life inside Gaza once again.
Well, it's hard to see to that future now, but I hope we get there. And in any case, thank you for so bravely and so articulately sharing your experience thus far. And we'll keep in touch. We'll talk soon, okay?
Inshallah. Shukran.
Thank you so much for listening to the Cognitive Dissidence podcast brought to you by Cognitive Investments. If you are interested in learning more about cognitive investments, you can check us out online at cognitive.investments. That's cognitive.investments. You can also write to me directly if you want at jacob@cognitive.investments. Cheers, and we'll see you out there. The views expressed in this commentary are subject to change based on market and other conditions. This podcast may contain certain statements that may be deemed forward-looking statements. Please note that any such statements are not guarantees of any future performance, and actual results or developments may differ materially from those projected. Any projections, market outlooks, or estimates are based upon certain assumptions and should not be construed as indicative of actual events that will occur. Cognitive Investments LLC is a registered investment advisor. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Cognitive and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. For additional information, please visit our website at www.cognitive.investments. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, and it should not be relied on as such. It should not be considered a solicitation to buy or an offer to sell a security. It does not take into account any investor's particular investment objectives, strategies, tax status, or investment horizon. You should consult your attorney or tax advisor.